Pythagoras of Samos, born around 570 BCE, is one of the most influential figures in the history of Western philosophy and science. Though his contributions to mathematics, particularly the Pythagorean Theorem, have made him a household name, his legacy extends much further. Pythagoras founded a school of philosophy and spiritual practice that combined mathematics, ethics, music, and mysticism, shaping not only the ancient world but also the course of intellectual history. In this video, we explore Pythagoras' life, teachings, and lasting influence on philosophy, science, and spirituality. Pythagoras was born around 570 BCE on the island of Samos in the Aegean Sea. His family was of noble origin, which likely afforded him access to a good education. Although the details of his early life are sparse, it is clear that Pythagoras had a deep curiosity about the world. He traveled widely in his youth, seeking knowledge from the ancient centers of learning in Egypt, Babylon, and other parts of the ancient world. His time in Egypt, where he studied mathematics, astronomy, and religious philosophy, was particularly formative. Pythagoras was influenced by the religious and mystical traditions of Egypt and Babylon, where he learned the significance of numbers, ratios, and the concept of harmony. These experiences led him to develop a worldview that combined mathematics with spirituality, a theme that would define his later teachings. After spending many years in Egypt, Pythagoras returned to Greece, where he eventually settled in Croton, modern-day Crotone, Italy, around 530 BCE. In Croton, he founded a school that was both a philosophical academy and a religious community. This school, known as the Pythagorean Brotherhood, attracted followers from all over the Greek world and became one of the most influential philosophical movements of the time. The Pythagorean community was founded on the belief that the universe is governed by a mathematical order, and that understanding this order through reason, observation, and self-discipline could lead to spiritual enlightenment. Pythagoras taught his followers that the soul is immortal, and that through purification and intellectual development, one could achieve a higher state of being. Pythagoras is most famously associated with the Pythagorean Theorem, which relates the sides of a right triangle. The theorem states that the square of the hypotenuse, the longest side, is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. While the theorem was known to other ancient cultures, it is attributed to Pythagoras because of the significant work his followers did to formalize and teach it. The Pythagorean theorem became one of the foundational principles of geometry and is still widely used today in mathematics, physics, engineering, and many other fields. However, Pythagoras' contributions to mathematics go far beyond this theorem. He and his followers made important discoveries in number theory, geometry, and algebra. They understood that numbers were not just abstract symbols, but the fundamental building blocks of the universe. One of Pythagoras' most groundbreaking contributions was his discovery of the relationship between mathematics and music. Pythagoras believed that the same mathematical principles that govern geometry also apply to music. He discovered that musical harmony can be explained by ratios of whole numbers. For instance, he found that the ratio 2:1 produces an octave and 3:2 produces a perfect fifth. This led to the concept of the harmony of the spheres, which posited that the movements of celestial bodies create a kind of music, even though it is inaudible to the human ear. According to Pythagoras, the entire cosmos was a reflection of mathematical and harmonic order. This idea, which connected mathematics with aesthetics, was one of the first to suggest that the universe itself was a harmonious and interconnected system. Another core teaching of Pythagoras was his belief in the immortality of the soul and the process of transmigration, the idea that the soul is reborn into different bodies over many lifetimes. For Pythagoras, the soul was eternal, and its journey through various incarnations was a process of purification. The goal was to achieve spiritual perfection, which would eventually allow the soul to reunite with the divine. To facilitate this process of purification, Pythagoras and his followers adhered to a strict ethical code. They practiced vegetarianism, believed in non-violence, and followed rigorous rules of conduct. These practices were not just about physical purity, but also spiritual discipline. By living a life of virtue and contemplation, Pythagoreans believed they could help their souls transcend the cycle of rebirth and achieve enlightenment. Key teachings of Pythagoras. 1. Mathematics as the foundation of reality. For Pythagoras, numbers were not just a tool for measurement, but the very essence of reality. He believed that all things, from the natural world to the heavens, were governed by mathematical laws. Understanding these laws, through reason and intellectual discipline, was the key to understanding the universe. 2. The harmony of the cosmos. Pythagoras taught that the universe is a living, breathing entity, and that everything in it, whether physical or spiritual, is interconnected through mathematical harmony. The idea of the music of the spheres suggests that the universe itself is a kind of symphony, where the movements of the planets and stars create a cosmic harmony that can be understood through mathematics. 3. The immortality of the soul. Central to Pythagorean thought was the belief in the eternal nature of the soul. The soul undergoes cycles of reincarnation, and its ultimate goal is to achieve spiritual perfection through purification and intellectual development. This idea of transmigration influenced later philosophical and religious traditions, including Plato's philosophy and Eastern religions like Hinduism and Buddhism. 4. Ethics and purity. Pythagoras' followers adhered to a strict ethical code that emphasized personal discipline, ethical living, and spiritual purification. Practices such as vegetarianism, communal living, and silence were part of this code. These disciplines were believed to purify the soul and bring it closer to divine harmony. Pythagoras' ideas had a profound impact on Western thought, particularly in the fields of philosophy and science. His concept of a mathematically ordered universe influenced philosophers like Plato, who incorporated many Pythagorean ideas into his own work. Plato's belief in the importance of numbers and the harmony of the cosmos can be traced directly back to Pythagoras' teachings. In mathematics, Pythagoras' discoveries laid the groundwork for later developments in geometry, number theory, and algebra. His ideas on the relationship between numbers and music influenced not only philosophers, but also musicians and composers throughout history. Pythagoras also had a lasting influence on religious thought. His belief in the immortality and reincarnation of the soul contributed to the development of ideas about the afterlife in both Western and Eastern spiritual traditions. Pythagoras' life and teachings continue to resonate today, both in the fields of science and philosophy and in our understanding of the spiritual world. His belief that the universe is governed by mathematical laws, that the soul is immortal and capable of spiritual growth, and that ethical living is essential for enlightenment, provides a framework for understanding the deep interconnectedness of the world around us. Whether through his famous theorem, his exploration of musical harmony, or his vision of the cosmos, Pythagoras' ideas remind us that knowledge, virtue, and wisdom are keys to unlocking the mysteries of existence. His legacy serves as a testament to the power of reason, the beauty of mathematics, and the importance of living a life of balance and spiritual awareness. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video on Pythagoras and his teachings, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.